Hello, pre-algebra students. Here's Mr. Lawrence with another lesson on multiplying integers. And actually, I'm not going to do as much talking on this one. You're going to do the work on it. You're going to see 7 or 8 problems here. There's the first 4, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll on down. And there's the next 3. There are 7 total problems. Your job is going to be to figure out the answers to these problems on your own. I will remind you that multiplication, you need to think of grouping, and that the first number tells you what direction in how many groups. It's positive 5, so Bobby is facing the positive numbers on the number line, and there are 5 groups. The second number tells you if he's walking forwards or backwards and how many steps he's taking. The 2 is positive, so he's walking forward, and he's moving 2 steps in each group of 5. All right, go ahead and pause the video. See if you can do these first 4, and in a moment I'll show you my solutions. Now, here's my solutions. I'm not actually going to use the number line, but I know that Bobby is facing the right direction for this one because the 5 is positive. And I know that he's going to walk forward, so he's going to go this way. And he's going to do 5 groups of 2 steps each. So that would be 2, 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, and 2 more. If you were counting along with me, all those 2's add up to, that's it. You said it, Ariana, they add up to 10. Yes, so 5 times 2 must equal 10. Now, if you want to use a number line, go right ahead. All right, now on this next one, number 2, -4. I've got Bobby facing the wrong way, don't I? Bobby needs to flip, Bobby, flip, I say. He's got to face the negative numbers. And he's going to do 4 groups of movements. Now, he's going to walk forward because the 5 is positive, and he's going to do 5 steps each time. So he's going to walk 5, 5 more, 5 more, and then 5 more. Well, 5, 5, 5, and 5 is 20. But notice he's going in the negative direction, so that's going to end up being a negative 20. I'm not using a number line because it's not very practical to have a number line that large. Okay, but you should be able to tell he was walking in the negative direction. If 0 was here and he's going this way, that's where the negative numbers are. So if he's on 20 at this point, that's got to be a negative 20. All right, number 3, let me get Bobby back here. Whoa, I'm drawing. I didn't mean to. Looks like Bobby's fishing. Okay. Bobby needs to turn around again because the first number is positive, so he's got to face to the positive numbers. He's going to move in 6 groups, but he's going to move backwards because the 2 is negative, and he's going to move 2 steps backwards in each of the 6 groups. So he's going to go back 2, back 2, back 2 again, back 2 again, back 2 again, and back 2 once more. Well, all those 2's make 12, but he was moving backwards, so he'll be at negative 12. All right, let's do number 4. Let's notice that Bobby needs to be facing the negative numbers because the 1 is negative. Bobby's going to walk backwards because the 3 is negative, right? So Bobby's going to do 1 group of 3 backward steps. So if he's at 0, and he's going to go backwards 1, 2, 3. Well, if 0 was here, Bobby would be at positive 3, wouldn't he? You bet your boots he would. So Bobby is at positive 3 for this one. All right, here's the 3 other problems. Go ahead and pause, see if you can do them. I'm not going to do them with Bobby. I'm just going to show you the answers that I got. If you're still watching, I'll bet you're ready to see my answers. And I know that I am going to get a positive 21 on here. This problem is done the same way problem number 4 was, because there's 2 negatives involved. Problem number 6 is going to end up equaling negative 90. Glad I didn't use a number line for that one. How do I know it's going to be a negative 90? Well, it's just like problem number 2, which ended up being negative 20. And finally, problem number 7 is going to end up being negative 12. How do I know? It's just like problem number 3. I had a positive number times a negative. Now, last thing I want to mention, then I'm going to end this video. It's nice and short. If you count your negatives, and you get an odd number of negatives, and this only works for multiplication and division, the answer will be negatives. I'll show you what that means in a second. If you count your negatives and you get an even number of negatives, the answer will be positive. I'll show you how this works. Okay, let's take number 1. I'm going to read it out loud. 5 times 2. How many times did I say the word negative? I didn't. I said it 0 times. 0 is an even number. Even numbers mean positive answers. Even number of negatives, positive answers. Okay. Number 2, negative 4 times 5. I said the word negative once. That's an odd number. The odd number of negatives gives me a negative answer. You try it on number 3. Hopefully you read 6 times negative 2. You got 1 negative. Odd number, negative answer. Number 4, negative 1 times negative 3. You say the word negative twice. That's an even number. That's going to be a positive answer. And notice we got a positive 3. I call it the count the negative rule. In fact, it's such a good rule that I could take this problem, negative 5. Oops, where is it showing up? Hold on. This big long problem here, negative 5 times negative 4 times negative 6 times 7 times negative 4 times negative 2 times 9 times 10, times negative 10 times negative 1. I don't know what the product of all that multiplication is going to be, but I can tell you if it's a positive or negative answer. All I'm going to do is count the word negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 negatives. 7 is an odd number. The final answer will be negative. If you don't believe me, check it on a calculator. This is going to equal a negative answer, whatever it may be. Okay, I call it the count the negative rule. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.